Hello there, welcome back to one of my cooking videos. I hope you enjoyed my previous videos. So today I'm going to be cooking something different again. I've actually got some runner beans I'm growing in the garden. Some people know them as string beans. So I've got my first harvest. I thought, what am I going to do? I had a quick look around. I thought, I know. I'm going to do a dish from Bangladesh, which apparently is basically like a runner bean curry. So I'm going to do a runner bean curry. I'm just going to add my little twist to it anyway. So I hope you enjoy this one. Again, enough waffling. Let's get on over here. This is what we're going to be using for this cheap and low calorie. I think it comes out below 100 calories, which is not bad. Runner bean curry we're going to do. Oh, what else have I got to add? I'm going to try my first attempt at making my own chapatis as well to go with it, so we'll see how that gets on as well. Alright, so for this runner bean curry I'm going to be doing very simple ingredients. I've got 230 grams of runner beans out of the garden, or string beans, whatever you want to call them. I've got half a chopped up diced onion there. Now I've got about 150 grams of various tomatoes. I had these mixed tomatoes in the fridge. I thought that's using enough. So I've got 150 grams there of various tomatoes which I've halved up. You can use any type of tomatoes you want, whichever is it, whatever you've got available. And the herbs and spice, I've got about 3 cloves of garlic, about an inch of ginger crushed up, half a teaspoonful of salt and black pepper. Now I've got 1 tablespoonful of garam masala, 1 tablespoonful of a medium curry powder, a quarter of a teaspoonful of red chili powder just to zing it up a little bit, give it a bit of heat, 2 tablespoonfuls of tamarind paste which I've had in the freezer for a while, so I'm going to put that in as well. So boss obviously use a bit of water with it as well, just make it a bit more runny. It might come out too thick, so that is basically what we're using for this runner bean curry. So let's get on over here, get this started, and we'll come back and see what we're using for these chapatis. Okay, the first part of this dish we're going to do, have the hobs on there, heating that oil up a little bit. So the first thing we need to do is just kind of cook off these onions and tomatoes. Just cook these off for about 5-ish minutes, 5-6 minutes, just so nice and soft. Right, when they're softened up a little bit, garlic, ginger in there, keep that stirring. Garlic mix that in there. All that garlic and ginger cooking up now. Now we're going to put in salt, pepper, chili powder, garam masala, curry powder, tamarind paste. Keep that stirring. Oh, it's certainly smelling nice, and mix these those spices in there. That heated through. I'm just going to add a little bit of water into that. That's to make it a bit more liquidy. Oh, certainly smells very nice, spicy. So pretty quick, pretty simple, very low calories, so there's only little vegetables in there. Make a good vegetarian dish, or even vegan if you use the vegan oils and that. Right, now whack in your runner beans, get them coated in the mixture. Coat it in the mixture there, a bit more water just so it doesn't burn. You can use tomatoes, chopped tomatoes if you want, or tomato puree. I'm just putting water in there. Simple as that. Lid on, let that simmer now for about 15 minutes till those beans are cooked. So let me get the lid on. Simple as that, put that down to simmer. And while it's simmering, let's go and make these chapatis. So while we wait for the rest of the curry just to simmer off a little bit longer, this is what we're going to use. I've got about, I'm using 1 cup of wholemeal brown flour there, pinch of salt in there. This should make hopefully one large one or two medium ones. Whack that in a bowl. Half a tablespoonful of olive oil, half a tablespoonful of melted butter. I'm going to use about half a cup of warm water. So we just need to whack all these in. And you just work that in. Use a spoon to start off with. And we just basically need to make the dough out of this. Smidgen more flour in there. A little bit wet. Better. And let's get my pastry sheet. Put your flour on there. Bit more flour on it, give it some kneading, make it nice and pliable. Good thing about making dough, you can sort of add, but you can't take away. So nice and pliable. Here we go. That should be enough. I'm going to roll these out and make these up. Now some people think you should let them pastry rest or dough rest for about half hour, but I'm only doing this while I've got these cooking, so let's slip that in half. Plenty of flour there. Roll this out. Keep rotating. Away. There we go, it's sticking. So make sure you use plenty of flour powder to stop it sticking. Keep rotating. I don't have to be perfectly round. I've never done it before, so I'm not going to worry about being too round. And as we can. There we go, that's the first one. Yep, I'm okay with that one. Put that to one side. Do the other one. Just squish it round in your hand, make it round. So I'm going to try and get this one more circular, more sort of chapati shape and a bit ski whiff like that one. There we go, I think that's been enough. So I'm going to actually put these in the fridge for an extra sort of 5 minutes just to chill them off a little bit while I'm waiting for the rest of the curry to do. And then we come back when they're ready to cook. There we go, that's done. Not too watery, nice sort of thickness to that. It certainly smells nice. Let's have a quick try of a bean, make sure it's cooked okay. Try a bit of the juice. Oh yeah, not too soft nor firm, just nice and al dente. That has got a kick to it with that red chilli powder. The tang from that tamarind paste, I mean that is optional, not because I was having in the freezer, but the tang from that tamarind paste and the curry powder and that really is actually a nice dish. I mean it really has got a big tang to that. That actually is very, very nice. Just what I hate for me. Want it hotter, a bit more chilli powder, but that is cooked perfectly. That is tasty. It's got a sweet, tangy taste to it. So yeah, the tamarind paste really has brought it out. That really is nice. So anyway, I'm going to move to one side. Now we're going to do our chapatis. So Now I use a dry pan for these apparently. Let's just put the lid on this one, just probably getting too cold. So you need a medium pan. Let's heat it up. I've got my chapatis here. Want it too cold. Let me just try cook these. Use a metal griddle or whatever you've got, or skillet. Put that in there. Need to get something to turn it over with. Just keep checking that. You get bubbles, it turns colour. I've never cooked these before, so it's going to be getting this heat just about right. That needs a little bit longer. Yeah, I'm going to turn this over. Now I know, yeah, they're not perfectly circular. I'm not an expert, no way. And apparently when you turn it over, just keep putting butter, melted butter, oil, or anything on the top, just to keep it nice and soft. Let the other side do. I'm going to let it cook a little longer on this side. I'm just going to flip it over again. Wash the side, melted butter. And hopefully it's going to come out alright, but let's give them a little bit longer. Let's just hold that over again. There we go. That's getting the right colour of what a chapati should look like. So I think that one's done. Just going to leave the other side a little bit. I'm going to cook the other one and we get it all on a plate. There we go. One runner bean curry and homemade chapatis. Now you could use this as a main course or even a side dish, but let's give it another try. A bit of an onion, a bit of tomato there. I mean, that it certainly smells nice, but like I said, with that tamarind paste, that really is nice. Nice. It's not a sour, but it's a very nice tang to it. It is quite hot with that chilli powder. So let's try one of the old chapatis I've got here. Let's see how we get on. Well, I don't think for my first attempt they're too bad actually. Take a little bit off. Quite nice one. Yeah. Does taste like chapati. And of course you could use it like you would do for chapati, just put a bit of the food in the middle and make a little wrap with it. Them beans cook perfectly. Like I say, not too firm, not soft and soggy, just got a slight crunch to them. There is some big heat coming from that quarter of red chilli powder. I mean, that was Kashmiri chilli powder, which actually is quite hot, but it's just about bearable for me. Just about my limit of hotness. But yeah, I mean, if you've got a run of beans or string beans growing in the garden, give it a try. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. It's very nice. There we go. This week's dish: a run of bean curry with homemade chapatis, and they're both not bad. There we go. One runner bean. No, you could use any vegetables for that, but got a spare runner beans. That is nice. And then and chapati. Yeah, I'm actually quite pleased with that. I'm hoping they're a bit more softer than I haven't got anything. Maybe I've done them too thick, but I did mean I ran them quite thin, but hey ho, there you go. We learn all the time. Anyway, hope you like that one. Please do like, subscribe, give it the old thumbs up, do appreciate it. Again, thanks for watching. Look out for my next one. Anyway, look after yourselves, be kind to one another. Thanks for watching, catch you again soon. Bye.